Hello everyone, this is Pal Ponder on Weather coming at you with another video. In this update, we're going to be talking about a looming nor'easter that's going to be bringing some beneficial rain to the Northeast as well as the New England states and some very windy conditions. So before I do get started, if you do like weather-related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload about 5 videos a week to keep you updated. And also, you want to subscribe to catch my winter forecast that I'll actually be releasing next weekend. So I'm super excited to present that to you guys. I know a lot of you have been asking out there, so be looking forward to that. But for this video, we're going to be talking about a nor'easter here. Kind of take you back. Here's the overall precipitation. I know it's been very dry in the Northeast. You've been missing out on a lot of the storms. Here's the year-to-date rainfall, and you can see it's predominantly above average for much of the South and the Southeast. But once you get into like Pennsylvania, New York, and all the New England states, it's been very dry, if not below average. So they do need some rainfall in this area, and you're going to get it in a big way over the next 10 days. And so let's kind of delve into the details. Now, we've been talking about this cold front for at least like a week now, and we've got the 500 millibar temperature anomalies. This low pressure is actually going to be diving all the way down into South Carolina. It's pretty impressive for this time of year, and that's why that colder air is going to reach all the way down to the coast. But it's going to spin off a developing low pressure sometime on Wednesday afternoon off the South Carolina coast, and this is only going to be intensifying as it rides up the Northeast coastline. Now, if we take you through Wednesday, that actually it deepens, and then it drives that north wind, drives that south wind up into the New England states, driving some of those heavier rains and some super windy conditions, which I'll actually go over here in a moment. Now, if we take a look at the overall precipitation and what that looks like and how it kind of plays out, by Wednesday, we can see that low pressure start to dig out. This is that strong cold front. You can almost see it verbatim here. And that'll be developing a low pressure system that's going to kick off some beneficial rain to the Carolinas. And this will only intensify as we go deeper into Wednesday. And you can see some of these wave heights offshore. It's pretty impressive. Starting into Wednesday night, getting into Thursday, these waves are approaching 20 plus feet offshore, and you can see the wind direction. That's going to be driving up the coast. So there's going to be some heavier waves offshore that you're going to be experiencing some of those gale force winds that are going to be pushing offshore. And I'll show you those winds here in a second. They're going to be pretty impressive, 30, 40, if not 50 miles an hour coming up for you on Wednesday and Thursday. But as that low deepens, the rainfall deepens, and some of these rainfall totals can be pretty impressive. It's more or less a kind of a coastal huggle. It will bring some beneficial rain to parts of Virginia and Maryland and New Jersey, especially into Pennsylvania. You'll get in the action where you have been dry. And in New York and Vermont, as well as New Hampshire, but by the coast, by like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island areas, you're going to be experiencing those heavier 2-inch per hour rainfall rates coming up on Wednesday. Now, if you take a look at the overall precipitation anomalies, this is the available, what they call FAT levels, the percentage of water available potential in the atmosphere, and it's basically you're looking at a little bit over 2 inches of rainfall per hour. So some of these reds, that's the available moisture in the atmosphere, essentially, of what it's been able to release out of the atmosphere. And those 2-inch rainfall rates can add up in a big way in a short amount of time. So you could be dealing with some flooding issues coming up on Wednesday and Thursday for this part of the country, into New Jersey and to parts of Connecticut and Rhode Island and Massachusetts. And as this swings up the coast, it'll be getting into New Hampshire as well, and eventually into Maine as we go into Thursday. Now, if we take a look at the overall percentages as far as normal, I mean, we're talking almost upwards of 300% above average for this time of year. So this is an anomaly that's going to be taking place, and this is definitely some much needed rainfall into New England, especially into Maine, as we're getting into those 2 and 3 inch rainfall rates into Maine by Wednesday afternoon, especially into Thursday, as this low really intensifies over your area. And those maximum wind gusts are pretty impressive too. I mean, these are not. So going all the way up to 56 knots, which is about 64 miles an hour. So if you can add anywhere from 5 to 7 degrees to figure 7 to miles an hour to these knots to figure out what the wind gust is going to be. But yeah, I mean, widespread 40 mile per hour wind gust, if not 50, coming up for you on Wednesday afternoon. So you're going to definitely feel it with the heavier rain coming in and those, 40 and 50 mile per hour winds. But as this swings up the coast by Thursday, you can see it really starts to deepen over the New England states and dumping those heavier rain amounts. And I would not be surprised if you have flash flood watches start to go into effect for this area, because even though you have been dry by then, a lot of the rainfall will have fallen, and I'm expecting some pretty heavy totals to come out of this area, and I'll show you those totals here at the end. Now, if we take a look at the wind gusts by Thursday, this low really deepens, especially over Cape Cod. I mean, it's pretty impressive. We're talking upwards of hurricane force winds potentially up in Cape Cod by Thursday morning. So this is some pretty incredible winds that's going to be producing out of this system as this is going to swing up the coast. So definitely be prepared to that, and secure any of those umbrellas and loose objects that you might have right now, so they won't be floating around everywhere. But even after this nor'easter ends, we do have a couple of different clipper systems that's still going to bring some beneficial rainfall even into Saturday. So by next weekend, you're still getting more rain into this area in parts of Connecticut and New Hampshire and into Vermont, especially into Maine again, as another system kind of pulls through. And even on the 6th, we have yet another system. So this is definitely a welcome pattern that you're going to be going into for the next 10 days for New England. And then if we even extend the view, that brings it offshore by the 6th and dumping, kind of ending the rainfall over the next 10 days. But yeah, these rainfall totals are pretty impressive. Here I kind of zoomed in. This is the Euro model over the next 10 days, and some of these, here's the graph on the right, but you can see all along the coast here, all along New Jersey and Connecticut, getting into Boston here, a good 4, 5, 6 inches, and we start getting into these darker browns area. Now you're talking anywhere upwards to 6 to 8 inches. So you can see where it maxes out about 9. So there's definitely gonna be a lot of rain that's going to be coming up in this part of the country. So not only going to be dealing with those heavier winds, but you're also going to be dealing with some potential flooding issues coming up by Wednesday and Thursday. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up on the potential nor'easter that's coming up for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So if you did find value in this video, please like this video and definitely leave your comments below, and catch me in the next video where I protect you before and after the storm.